Welcome to another Wednesday weekly team prosperity meeting. We're going to get into some details that will help you either, start your business, get velocity in your business, take your business to the next levels, grow, scale your business. Wherever you're at, there's always ways to improve your business. There's always roles that you can, further educate yourself on that helps create distribution, better paths for your partners, better end results for your clients. Right now, we have, what I think are completely blue and clear skies for a business model like ours, because, the way that we market, the way that we lead with value-based propositions, and the way that we actually get to know our clients and map out a way that includes education with data-driven smart technology that allows them to put a cash management system together to reach their goals and dreams. I have fun doing this. I enjoy interacting with the clients. I enjoy interacting with my partners. So if you're into this, then all you have to do is find other people like us, and it doesn't take very much. You can get a little core group going. And then once you do that, that mentality of all you guys being on a positive note, being mission-based, really will grow into nationwide distribution, which is what we're looking for. Before we get into what I want to talk about today, you have to understand that if you're talking to yourself, if you're talking to a client, or you're talking to a partner, having goals, having motivating factors, this is extremely important, because setting goals is the first step to turning invisible into the visible. So like we talked about before, if I'm talking with a potential client who's a prospect at that time, and there's no motivating factor, there's no goals there, I can't really help with that. My job is to get them to their goals, help them accomplish this stuff. Somebody has no motivating factor, no why, it's pretty much a dead conversation, guys. It's easier to learn that right now than it is down the road, because you think you can create these goals and these motivating factors for people, and you really can't. That already has to be in place. So last week we talked about sink or swim. A good product and a brilliant idea is not a guarantee of a successful business. A very important role is played by the entrepreneur, and that role determines the success as well as the speed of success. A successful entrepreneur will not only work in their business, but on their business as well, with a combination of discipline and determination. So we've got a lot of ways that we can help train, support, coach, mentor, whatever it is somebody that needs or wants. But at the end of the day, you just got to jump in. You got to start, movement. You got to start having movement, activity, action. And that's going to help you get past the learning curve. So what's happening this week? We want to talk about, not missing your chance to win. If we've got together a business model that has multiple points of monetization, that has happy clients giving you user-generated content, testimonials, referrals, you don't want to miss your chance to win. And basically what that means is, once you understand kind of the business model itself and how that works, then all we got to do is fix ourselves. And at different points in the business, there'll be different things that need to be fixed. You just have to analyze where you are right now and what needs to be fixed to get you over those next humps. So first of all, what does it take to be a champion? You have to have the will to be a champion. That's desire, dedication, determination, concentration, and the will to win. So that will to win and that determination, that grit, combined with the fact that you understand that this business is really all about people. It's about your clients. It's about your partners. It's about everybody that you come across and influence. So the combination of the will to win and the tied into the mission of all about the people, that should help you understand from one level really how to win. And then from that point on, it's just about staying on top of things. So really the two main factors that cause people to not be as successful in this business as they might have expected or we might have expected is two things. They're either unmotivated, they're unorganized, or they're both. So we have to stay on top of things. And this is the eternal battle, because if we don't stay on top of things, things fall through the cracks. Those things that fall through the cracks, that's revenue, that's income, that's business growth. The combination of that over time is really going to put a negative dent on your business. So two of the things that you have to understand is that time blocking. Don't just drift in and out of days, because those days pile up. They turn into weeks, they turn into months, they turn into years. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, I've been doing this for X time. I don't have but this to show for it. A lot of that's going to come in from the day-to-day rounds, like a boxing match. There's 12 rounds. You got to win enough rounds. Same thing here. That's going to come from time blocking. And we have in the YouTube channel, it's a short video, but it just goes through how to effectively time blocking 101. So if you need that, check it out. But time blocking is going to help you win enough rounds during the day, win enough rounds over X period of time. That's really going to have a positive effect on your business versus the other end of the spectrum, which is drifting. Drifting causes massive amounts of slippage. Organize yourself. So understand inside that time blocking that you have different parts of the day. If you're up early and it's 6 a.m. and you've got coffee and you're doing the things that you need to for your business, well, those direct activities, those can't be happening yet. It's not during normal business hours. You need to understand these are the things I'll get done right now, because the other things have to wait, because it's not in a realm of time where I can actually do that. Organize, tier your day, and make sure you're getting the stuff done at the appropriate time. And then, like I said, tier your activity. The most important things, make sure that you're getting done every day. You're winning the day, the week, the month, the year, really all starts with your Sunday routine. And this is a big part of what I try to do lately, is because you're going to win the week with preparation. Preparation comes from a couple of different things, but you have to understand, write down the wins for the previous week. Write down the gaps, the room for improvement. What are your big goals for the coming week? Notice, we're not talking about annual goals. What is your goal for this coming week? Write down the tasks that you're going to complete. Just, brain dump them into a list. Prioritize those tasks in terms of like level of impact, time, financial involvement, and based on what you actually need to get done. What's most important? What do you need to get done first? Split those tasks up by day. Like I said, have the time blocking, know when things are going to be done. And then, write out, if you're building agencies, then also that has to incorporate what your team needs. Write out every member of your team, what they need to accomplish, start setting goals for them, and then plan in terms of all the team meetings and whatever it is that you need to do. Your day or your week is going to be won with preparation. Preparation starts by Sunday on the reflection of the previous week and the preparation for the new week. So writing down your wins, why is this important? It's because that, especially in the beginning, you're not going to have these gigantic wins that you're going to have later on in your business. So you have to understand that writing down these small victories are so important, because it gives you reason to celebrate. If you're postponing all your celebrations to these big, gigantic goals that you're trying to get down the road, there's no celebration along the way. So you need to get excited about your business. Being excited about your business comes from those small victories, realizing that you're putting the time and effort in, and also understanding that this is going to give you excitement for your business. And excitement for your business carries over, and it carries over into more activity. It carries over into your energy, it carries over into your conversations, and it carries over into building confidence. If you're constantly celebrating victories, you're putting the time and effort in, and you're not postponing those victories to the celebrations until the very large victories, then it's going to build confidence. And confidence, once again, is going to start to build you up to the point where you're feeling better and better and better about upgrading your network, talking to people who might intimidate you, doing all the things that we talk about to really expand and grow your business. It'll also allow you to measure success. And when you start to measure success, you realize that you're capable of a lot more than you thought. And so that what you thought you could accomplish, now that gets bigger. And now that gets more inclusive of other things that you want to incorporate into what you call, quote unquote, success. Measuring success also allows you to have the ability to mind the gaps, meaning where do I have opportunity for improvement? Once again, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses at any given point in the business model? Where am I? What are those two things I need to evaluate? Where's my room for improvement? Your goals for the week, like I said, not annual goals. Annual goals allow you just to postpone things, kick the can down the road. And as you get closer to those year-end goals, you start to panic and you water down the goals. So what you want to do is create short-term goals. The more short-term goals that you can, plan and hit, that's going to get you to your longer-term goals. So what is your goal for the week? What do you have planned? And that's going to incorporate a few different things. Number one, what's your task list? So you have your goals, you have your task list, you're starting to get your days of the week kind of filled in with what you need to do at any given time. Once again, white space on a calendar is going to kill your business. So especially in the beginning, if you don't have those concrete appointments, make sure your calendar's filled up with tasks that you're going to complete. Your day, your week, your month, everything has to include income producing activities. So your goals for the week, your task for the week, yes, we need to get a lot of stuff done as an entrepreneur, but what is it that I'm doing this week that's actually going to bring revenue and income, into my business and into my household? Because those are so important. We can be real busy doing a lot of different stuff, but are we effective? We have to check the scoreboard. Are we bringing in revenue and income? Because if we're not, we need to organize ourselves in a way that is concentrated on at the very, very top of the list. That's going to come from meetings. So remember, our business model is based on getting out information, getting people in front of education they need, and being able to learn more about their goals along with the education to create the why, or to learn about the why, learn about the motivating factor, and to create a plan of action for them that they can execute. It's got all the aids and the products and services that we have included. So understand what you're leading down to. And as a marketer, you're not getting your self meetings, you're getting the educator meetings, but you guys have to work together. The marketer's doing their job, make sure the educator's doing their job. Like we talked about before, this may be the 1,000th education presentation you've done. It's the first time that person's seen it on the other side. So you have to bring your A game no matter what, and make sure, like I said, if somebody's creating you leads, that you value that partnership and you try to create revenue and income for them. You also have to follow up, guys. Following up is going to separate, or it's going to allow you to break out of certain income levels. Following up will separate a low income earner from a high income earner just from that one, ability that person is willing to do, which is be organized, have a follow-up list, get back in front of people. Guys, there is a ton of revenue and income in follow-up. If you're not good at it, then you need to make sure that is a skill set, or that is something that you work on going forward. And then the most important thing, we talked about this. If I've got income producing activities, if I got somebody that's supposed to sign a contract this week, then that is priority number one. That is revenue and income that's sitting right there. I've done all the work, gone to the finish line. That's priority number one. The most important things of my week, when I look back at the reflection of my week, did I get priority number 1, 2, 3, 4 completed? If so, great. If not, then that's a week that I probably look back and say, I didn't do what was necessary. Staying organized is going to help you win. And like I said, this is a lot of people's battles. If somebody's unmotivated, really can't give them motivation. If somebody's unorganized, I can't step in and help them organize themselves. We can give them the checklist, we can give them all the things they need to do, but they got to bring motivation and organization to the table. If they don't, it's going to be really, really impossible almost to build a business if you're lacking motivation and organization. You've got to create constant short-term deadlines for yourself. Like I said, allowing yourself to kick the can down the road is always planning, always preparing. That's just a veiled way to procrastinate from having to take the action step. You need to make sure that you understand, create short-term deadlines. The more deadlines that you can create, the more deadlines that you can hit, the more short-term goals you can create, the more short-term goals you can hit. That's going to continually build self-confidence. And your self-confidence gets to the point where now you can not only lead yourself on a day-to-day basis, but that you can lead a team or a portfolio of agencies. The combination of the days and the weeks and the months, if you do the things we're asking you to do, you're going to start to hit some marks. And then you're going to start to see that these things really compound over time. On the other hand, if you're not following the lead, and you're not doing what's necessary, you don't have the short-term goals, you don't have the high priority task list, then these days, weeks, and months are going to pile up, like we talked about earlier in this meeting today, with little to no results. And how motivated are you going to be 6, 9, 12 months from now if you don't have much money coming in from this business? Remember, money, revenue, and income is really a reflection of you learning and implementing those things. We've got a lot of help in the beginning. We can't help on certain things. And one of those things is learning how to open your mouth and talk about your business, network marketing with people. But understand, if you do what you need to do, these days, weeks, and months will really start to come together in a positive way for you. If you don't do what you need to do, then there's not going to be much to show for it. You're not going to feel like continuing. You're going to drift and you're going to quit. Like I said, it's the cumulative effect of all those little choices. Those little choices, even that 10, 15-minute span, between, appointment A and appointment B. Am I just going to sit there and look at Facebook? We're going to get a couple of things done. And then if you have like 3 or 4 of those periods of time, that could be up to an hour's worth of time. So understand the little choices, the little time frames. Those are the rounds that we're talking about every day. You need to win enough of those, because at the end of the day, you're responsible for a certain amount of growth of your business. And if you can't perform that level of growth, the rest of the business is not going to grow. And even if it does start to grow some, you're not providing the leadership that's, anybody's going to be willing or looking to follow. So people are looking at you as you're building the agency. What are you doing? What is your leadership? What is your lack of leadership? You have to come in dialed in to make sure you're responsible for this growth and that you're hitting this growth, each month. Be accountable along the way. If things aren't working, don't just blame the economy. Don't blame the prospects. Don't blame your marketing. Look at actually what's going on. And along the way, just like we teach our clients, everything you want in your financial life is a mathematical equation. Everything you want in your business, you're going to be able to dissect what's happening, what's going right, what's going wrong. If you're unable to be accountable with yourself, if you're unable to kind of look yourself in the mirror and be real with yourself, your business and your ability to kind of win at this, what we're doing, is going to be hurt. One of the ways you can be accountable to yourself, especially in the very, very beginning, this is what I tell partners, is if you're working this business part-time or full-time, figure out what hours you're going to devote to this business, and then figure out what is your command in terms of a W-2 wage. So if I go out there and my wage is $20 an hour and I'm working, 20 hours a week on this business, well, I need to be bringing in $400 a week or $1,600 a month or so just to break even on my time investment, right? Because I could go out there and earn $20. Now, I'm not saying that time investment is limited to that immediate income that you make. You're building a business, but don't just come in here and think that, because I don't have any expenses with this business, because I don't have the big buildings and the wardrobes and the gasoline and all those things that go along with a traditional business, you still have a business investment. And that means understanding what you're worth in the marketplace on W-2 wages, assigning that value to the amount of hours you're going to work, and understanding going into a month, this is what I need to make starting out as a goal. You have to stay committed, stay determined, stay focused. We talked about this in the very beginning. You have to have the will and the determination to win. If not, all of these days that we go through, they're going to be different. Some are good, some are bad, some are really bad. You can't get too emotional about the overall journey. You have to, hold the vision, trust the process. And you have to understand that other people are doing the same thing. Other people are going through the same motions. They're paving the way for you. It's getting done. So understand you can do it too. You have to develop an entrepreneurial mindset. You can't bring an employee mindset into a business build out. So one of those things is having an entrepreneurial mindset is a thirst for knowledge. You have to be a sponge. You have to constantly be thinking about how to make your business better from a lot of different angles. If you have the thirst for knowledge, no one can stop you. If you don't want to learn, really no one can help you. You've got to keep learning. And like I said, learning is going to allow you to find new ways to, better the client experience, better yourself, fix whatever's going on, create more efficient processes, learn about automation that can help your business, whatever it is. The learning process is so, so important. Learning creates a few things. Learning creates increased motivation. The more you learn, the more confident you get, more excited you get about the prospects of what you can do for, once again, the people that you influence. Be obsessed with helping people, get motivated. And like I said, the more I learn about the ways that I can help people, more motivated I get about my business. And that allows me to be like laser focused. When you're in touch with your mission and when you're in touch with your business and you know exactly what you want, you've got these short-term deadlines, you're doing everything that we're telling you to do, everything else kind of goes out of focus and you are clearly focused on this one thing. You understand what you're trying to do, you understand what it's going to take, and you're willing to pay the price. And that creates execution. Once you have execution in your business model, we have a systematic approach. Once you nail and master execution and can teach other people, watch out. That's when distribution happens. And when distribution happens, like we talked about before, there's no point of resistance for scalability. We don't need $1 million. We don't need you to set up infrastructure. It's already laid out. We bring, like I said, the people part of this process. And a big part of that is teaching people how to master everything on down the line to execution. So you need to understand that there's certain things that you have to manage. One of those things is daily management, your day-to-day operations. What are you doing? What are you not doing? What should you be doing? Why are you not doing that? Kind of an overall approach. You also need to understand that within that daily management is time management. We talked about this before. What's important? What absolutely needs to get done? Where are my income producing activities? Tier your activity. Understand that small blocks of time, they really add up. So those 10, 15, 20 minutes here or there, what are you doing with those? Don't waste minutes, because minutes become hours, hours become weeks, and so on down the road. And then your energy management. If you're working in the education, if you're working in sales, if you're working in coaching, if you're working in marketing, how is your energy management on any given day? Because remember, like we talked about earlier, might be your 1,000th presentation. It's going to be there first. Same thing when you're marketing. Everything's just a transfer of emotion and energy. If you come out there and you sound half dead, who's going to buy into you? That's the first thing they're buying into, is the conversation they're having with you. They're not buying into you. They're not going to buy into anything that you have to offer, even if it's free and very timely and valuable. So your energy management on a day-to-day basis is important. Bring some energy, bring some excitement, create some excitement, because that's going to get people wanting more. And then your performance management. Like we talked about earlier, it's all about sometimes just making sure you check the scoreboard. You can be putting in the time, energy, efforts, but at the end of the day, you still got to put numbers on the board. So what is the scoreboard? And within that performance management, how do things look? If things don't look the way that you want them to do, what do I need to do to improve inside that realm to get where I want to go? And then mission management. We talked about this earlier, but this is going to help you. Like I said, if you're really dialed into the mission, then yes, you have goals, you have objectives, and we want to definitely see those met and get you to the end point you want to get to. But it's also going to help you on a day-to-day basis do all the things that we do, like stay dialed in, create excitement, be there, talking about your business, living your brand. If you're dialed into the mission, we are helping people. And I see that every single day. So when you understand what that can do, the mission will get you motivated on those days where maybe you don't feel so motivated. And then within that, like I said, intention and action. So what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And within that, where am I trying to hit? And am I even coming close? And your target or objectives, you need to understand, what is a business objective? Well, a business objective for us is developing a sales pipeline. A sales pipeline comes from appointments. We know that if we educate people, we talk to people, we build those relationships, we'll get the end outcomes of product, services, and solution sales. You control activity. As you go forward, there'll be some things that you can do to improve your results, but especially in the beginning, the only thing that you're really doing is you're having the activity. And at the end of the day, you're rolling the dice out there with activity. Those outcomes, happen, good, bad, or ugly, whatever they may be. You're concentrating on what you control, which is your activity, which is your energy, which is your excitement, which is all the things that we've been talking about. The results will come if you put in the time, because like we're talking about today, if you're putting in the time and you don't get the results, we have ways that we can kind of dissect what's happening and help you fix those deficiencies. Defining outcomes. We just talked about this. What is a business outcome for you? And then what secondarily is the ultimate business outcome? When you take a client, or when you take somebody from a prospect to a client that has multiple points of monetization on the backside, that is the ultimate business outcome. Along the way, you're going to get some different types of outcomes. Maybe a client goes halfway through that entire process. I'm not sure, but understand what your ultimate business outcome is and what that means for you, financially. Understand what a core client, a key business outcome is actually worth to you. So as you're going into your prospecting, your marketing, your education, you know what you're trying to work towards. Power of discipline is going to get you guys what you want. Like I said, being unmotivated, being unorganized, those are nails in the coffin. If you're disciplined and you do the things that we ask you to do, that discipline over X period of time is going to get you results. So discipline means giving things enough time to actually make data-driven decisions, not just being, erratic about things and changing everything at one time, but actually dissecting, changing one thing at one time. Did that work? Did it not work? And understanding along this process, there's no such things as doesn't work. It's only feedback. It's only a learning environment. So make sure you understand what discipline really means. And then if you're evaluating yourself right now or at any point in your business and you feel stuck, take a stand, make a line in the sand, understand that the business works. You have to understand that all of your problems involve you. You're the common denominator. So we have to fix ourselves. One of the things we can't get addicted to is comfort. You've got to rationalize. You can't be rationalizing your situation, justifying your positions in that comfort zone. You've got to break out of the comfort zone. All the growth happens there. You're either growing or dying. It's growth or decay. You can't just stand in the middle. Is your business growing? If it's not, it's dying. Become your biggest fan, like we talked about. Give yourself those short-term deadlines, create those deadlines for yourself, make those deadlines, create excitement for yourself on the little victories in the beginning, become your biggest fan. Learn how to turn problems into projects. And if you've got any of this stuff happening right now, like I said, part of what we do is analyzing our strengths and weaknesses. And within those weaknesses, if we've got problems with our business, wherever it's coming from, we have to be honest, and we have to reflect, and we have to say, this is what's happening, and this is how I fix it. A good idea plus hard work times time plus discipline equals success. So what Grant Cardone says is pay the price today so you can pay any price tomorrow. You've got to put, time, energy, effort into this. You've got to have the grit to let it compound over X period of time. But I promise you, what we have is both needed, wanted, and desired, and it is a win-win-win relationship for you, your clients, and your partners. We are building something that I think is going to, by the time you look at the end of this decade, is going to be huge. It's going to be nationwide. It's going to be known as a nationwide brand. We're working hard to make it happen. If you're working hard to make it happen, you're just out there in the marketplace. If you're talking to partners, it's not about bringing people in under false pretense. It's about laying it out on the line, laying your vision out and asking, who's coming with us, because we have something special and we spent the last number of years getting it to the point that it is right now, and it's ready for takeoff. So that's all I've got this week. I appreciate you guys coming on for the recording. I'll put this out in the appropriate places where it usually is. And like we always say, if you're working on your business, we will work with you.